What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? We back with another video today. We got 10 most terrifying gang initiation rituals. Finna get into the video, and yeah, man, it should be some crazy shit they for me doing. Okay.
Organization in the world requires a special entry process for newcomers, and in the world of crime and gangbanging, things are no different. However, while a bank might require to interview you and a college might ask for your SAT score, the average gang's demands can either be quite bizarre or borderline deadly. So, what are these requirements? I'll show you this list of the top 10 most brutal gang rituals in the world. Number 10, Black Disciples, baptism by fire.
It's like that, it's real out here, man.
Nothing spells out the brutal nature of the Black Disciples more than the killing of Robert Sandifer, aka Yummy, an 11-year-old gangster who was a member of the gang and got murdered by them when they felt he was drawing too much attention to their illegal activities. It's one of those cases that made your stomach turn and your head hurt as you try to make sense of how something like that could happen in our modern age. The Black Disciples gang was created in 1967 by a 26-year-old Chicago kingpin named David Barksdale. And while no one is sure if there is a specific initiation ritual for joining the gang, there had been one confirmed event that gave the world a glimpse into the senseless, utterly bizarre, and violent membership requirements the gang demands from its recruits. In 2013, two guys, Esther L. Simpson and Maurice Hollis, chased down a complete stranger named Carlos Hernandez and set him on fire, burning him alive. During interrogation, they confessed it was part of an initiation ritual for the Black Disciples. Number 9,
set on fire?
Chinese Triads, strawberry smoothie.
You gotta get set on fire to be in the gang.
The Chinese Triad is one of the oldest, most enduring gangs on the surface of the earth. Founded in the 1760s under a completely different name, the Heaven and Earth Society, it eventually evolved into one of the most famous branches of the notorious Triad groups that can be found all over Asia. From extortion to racketeering, prostitution to murder, illegal gambling to healthcare fraud, the Chinese Triad have their fingers in almost every corrupt pot, and they have gotten unbelievably rich in the process.
China
so
really smart
you can imagine that joining such an influential and profitable gang would be incredibly difficult, right? Well, the initiation process for joining the Triad is less about difficulty and more about how revolting it actually is. Whenever a new member is accepted into the Triad, they must drink a certain strawberry smoothie. And as you might have already figured, there is no strawberry in the smoothie's recipe. Instead, it is made with the blood of the senior members of the gang, and the rookie has to drink it before he can become a certified member. Number 8, Latin Kings, Double Trouble. Being forced to drink the blood of someone else is bad enough, but it doesn't come near what the Latin Kings gang forced their new recruits to do. Founded in 1954 by a Puerto Rican named Ramon Santos, the Latin Kings was initially created with a very good intention. Ramon wanted to end racial discrimination against the Latin communities, but it didn't take long for the entire enterprise to devolve into a criminal one. They turned from activism to theft, identity theft, drug trafficking, and murder. In fact, it's the latter part that has become their most recognizable trait. The Latin Kings are so brutal that it makes little sense why anyone would want to join them. But if you are part of that crowd, then you are given two options. Since the Latin Kings have rival gangs, rookies are often ordered to take part in a drive-by shooting of specific rival gang members. This could lead to a counter-retaliation and your eventual demise. Or, you could be forced to give up your girlfriend to be assaulted by 4 or more gang members. Number 7, Aryan Brotherhood, baptism by blood. There are very few gangs in this world with ideologies that are worse than what the Aryan Brotherhood was built on. While most gangs commit crime for money, power, and the thrill of violence, this gang was created on the idea that their race is superior over all others. And as a result, membership is restricted to anyone who can't meet the ethnic classification of a white supremacist. Largely a prison gang, their members number in the tens of thousands, and they've been around since 1968. The craziest fact about them is that they make up an extremely low percentage of the American prison population, and yet they are responsible for a disproportionately large number of prison murders. And for those twisted enough to join, the Aryan Brotherhood demands that its new members prove their loyalty by killing either a rival gang member or a prison guard. It's safe to say that every member of this gang has blood on their hands. Number 6. Hell's Angels gang, Golden Shower. The only thing cooler than bikes is having buddies you can ride with. And this is one of the many reasons Hell's Angels is so popular. With over 3,000 members worldwide, The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club has grown into one of the most influential outlaw biker gangs since the creation of motorcycles. Now, most of the members and most of the people who want to be members would swear to you that the bike gang is not criminal. According to them, the gang is a fun-loving, supportive club of members who just love bikes. But there have been so many incidents of crime, trafficking, and extortion linked to the fun-loving club that it's hard to agree with the harmless description. In fact, the club has been banned in the Netherlands, and various law enforcement agencies classify the gang as an organized crime syndicate. Rookies are required to go through a ritual baptism of human waste before they are accepted as bona fide members. They will bathe in human excrement, urine, and any type of filth that the older members can conjure with their fun-loving minds. Somehow, this ranks above that of the strawberry smoothie. Number 5, Junkie Funky Kids, Beat In. Another gang that is a direct product of race conflicts has to be the Chunky Funky Kids of South Africa. At the heights of the apartheid regime, many black South African youths were forced to either join gangs or create new ones. One of the most brutal gangs created during that period was the Junkie Funky Kids. The Junkie Funky Kids exist in the Cape Flats region of Cape Town, South Africa, and as cute as the name sounds, the reality of the gang is just terrifying. The members of this gang are mostly kids, and they are recruited by older members of this gang who prey on children, often orphans, who want a support system to help them through life. And it's one hell of a support system, because new members are required to go through an initiation process that could just mean the death of the kid in question. The initiation ritual involves older members forming a line on both sides of a path that the child must pass through. As the kid passes through, he will be beaten by these older members who often wield clubs, planks, or whips. The child must run through and survive the beatings that he will be given in order to become a member. Number 4, the Bloods. The Bloods are one of the most popular gangs in the world, known to be the sworn rivals of the Crips, who wear blue to their opposing red. The Bloods have been responsible for a large number of high-profile violent cases. I mean, they might or might not have been responsible for the revenge murder of the legendary rapper Biggie Smalls, who was a Crip and was killed just a few months after the cold-blooded murder of another legendary rapper, Tupac, who happened to be a Blood. Despite this history of violence, membership for these gangs hasn't slowed down in the slightest. In fact, there are at least 20,000 active Blood gang members at the time you're watching this video. And for those daring enough to want membership to this ruthless gang, you are required to do something that is equal parts creative and horrific. New members must cut a complete stranger with a box cutter to the point that the stranger would need at least 150 stitches to seal their wounds. This ruthless practice is called giving someone a $1.50, and it just emphasizes the mindless violence that is associated with the Bloods gang. Number 3,
I was saying
MS-13,
that. I was saying it with money.
Sacrifice.
I wasn't saying it.
Government forces struggle to contain armed and ruthless gangs. The most notorious of which are the Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13.
The MS-13 wear their memberships on their face. The name of the gang is inked everywhere with a lot of other images and symbols that allude to the gang. The MS-13, it is safe to judge the book by its cover, because when it comes to this gang, nothing is too brutal. Created in Los Angeles, California in the 70s by Salvadoran immigrants trying to protect themselves from other gangs in the area, they would later diversify their interests from protection to a wide array of criminal activities, such as drugs, arms, and human trafficking, kidnapping, robbery, murder, and assault of almost any kind. New members have to endure a beatdown for 13 seconds by older members of the group, and don't even think for a second that they use a clock to time the brutal initiation. Left to these gangbangers, those 13 seconds could easily be several minutes, depending on their mood on the day of the initiation. Female recruits are also welcome, but they have to be assaulted by several male members before they can be accepted. And there have even been rumors of elaborate satanic rituals involving the blood sacrifice of teenage girls. Number 2.
It's not as bad as the other
One of the most bizarre, contradictory, and controversial gangs to ever have existed were the Knights Templar. Founded in December of 2010 by Nazario Morena Gonzalez and Servando Gomez Martinez, it was thankfully ended permanently by the feds in 2017. This gang cartel was a collective group of maniacal madmen that caused more chaos than most cartels in Mexico. The bizarre part is the fact that they had a strict ethical code that they lived and died by. Members had to swear to help the poor and helpless, fight against materialism, respect women and children, not use drugs, and not kill for money. These codes might sound like a noble gang by any standard, but it was simply a front to throw you off their authentic, brutal nature. Their initiation process for new recruits is a perfect example. Because how do you have a moral code that frowns against violence on minors, and yet new members are required to eat the heart of a human child before they can be considered members of your gang? Make it make sense.
Eat the heart of a
Number
child.
1, umbrella test.
It's a cup. Yeah.
It's made of metal.
Oh, you turn it into a mate.
Can you eat one?
Can I touch? That's it. So you swing it and.
Like this.
Lord, that's what you eat.
Somebody else got the with this side.
This side, so you cut.
That side.
So why do you do that side?
To make it open.
At the number 1 spot is a South African gang called the Numbers Gang. Trust me when I say this. Nothing can prepare you for the brutal nature of this gang, or what they force their recruits to go through. The Numbers Gang is a prison gang with predominantly black or mixed race members, and they are identified by specific numbers. These numbers are 26, 27, 28, and 40. Non-members are called wifeys, for reasons I will reveal in a bit. The gang started in the 19th century in a prison in Durban, and now, more than 100 years later, every prison in South Africa has a chapter of this gang. So, the 26 are the top of the food chain. The 27 are kind of like the secret service of the gang. The 28s are brawlers, and the 40s are made up of members too old or too injured to be active. They are called the Mambosas, and it is their duty to teach new members of gang's unique language called the Sabela. Yes, it is that serious. This gang has their own language. But before the new members can even begin learning the language, they must pass what is called the umbrella test. This test is the initiation ritual, and it boils down to a question that bears with it serious consequences. What would you do if it was raining and you had just one umbrella between you and another gang member? If your answer is to share the umbrella with a gang member, you will immediately be made a wifey. That means that you will become a sex slave to the entire gang. But if you choose to stand in the rain rather than use an umbrella, then you must attack a white prison guard. It is a devil and deep blue sea scenario, and easily one of the worst gang
So either way it go, you're gonna have to do
some
crazy. It's not crazy, bro. But either way it go with that last game, you're gonna have to do some crazy jump, bro, just to get bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They got it with all these games and I ain't gonna cap. Just stand by yourself. You got you at the end of the day. You ain't got nobody else. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Them games is crazy, man. Hopefully you guys like the video, man. Until next time, bro. That's crazy, bro.